Ever wondered why some anime from your childhood felt oddly off? Like scenes were mismatched, jokes didn't land, or entire moments seemed weirdly sanitized?
That's what we're digging into today, specifically the wild world of 4Kids entertainment dubs and how they transform beloved series for Western audiences, sometimes to the horror of fans.
We'll break down what 4Kids did to shows like Sonic X and Yu-Gi-Oh!, why their edits were so notorious, and how one character, Chris Thorndike, became a fandom punching bag because of it.
First, we'll explain 4Kids' approach to localization, then look at the inconsistencies and infamous dialogue rewrites, touch on how this changed Sonic X, and finish by dissecting what went wrong with Chris's character. Let's jump in.
So, the 4Kids approach was basically, if it might raise an eyebrow, cut it or cover it up. That meant out with anything resembling violence, death, alcohol, or cultural references they thought kids wouldn't get.
Right? And it went as far as swapping gunshots for laser sounds or erasing all mentions of Japanese food. Remember when rice balls magically became jelly donuts in Pokemon? That's classic 4Kids.
But here's the kicker. Sometimes they'd edit one episode but leave a similar scene untouched in another, which just confused everyone. The result? Plot holes and emotional moments that landed with a thud.
And they didn't just cut. They filled gaps with corny jokes and puns, making tense scenes feel like Saturday morning cartoons instead of, well, actual drama. The original nuance was basically tossed out the window.
Another thing people forget, 4Kids didn't just dub. They practically rewrote scripts to fit mouth movements, which made a lot of performances sound forced. Sometimes characters would say nonsense just for the lip sync.
It's wild because the voice acting ended up feeling so wooden. And don't forget the music iconic tracks like Crush 40s, Live and Learn got replaced with background music that didn't fit the scene at all.
That's so true. The emotional punch of a moment could be undercut by random elevator music, or a dramatic reveal would get squashed by a slapstick sound effect.
Honestly, it stripped away so much atmosphere. No wonder fans often say, just watch the sub version or a later redub if you want the real experience.
Sonic X, especially, suffered from this. The show was supposed to have some serious emotional stakes, Sonic and his friends thrown into a human world, grappling with loss, love, and sacrifice.
But the English dub gutted those moments. Scenes about grief or love just vanished. Remember when Tails loses someone important? The dub turns it into a joke, erasing all the emotional impact.
And food scenes were Americanized, Japanese writing scrubbed out. Even the humor was ramped up to cartoonish levels, so any tension evaporated.
It got so bad, some fans ironically watch it for laughs. The cringe factor is real. But for others, it just made the story feel immature and disjointed compared to the Japanese version.
Nowhere is the fallout more obvious than with Chris Thorndike. Originally, he's a lonely kid neglected by his rich, absent parents, which deeply shapes his relationship with Sonic.
But 4Kids hacked out all the scenes that made him sympathetic. Suddenly, Chris is just a whiny, clingy boy with no depth, his trauma erased, his growth invisible.
And the voice acting didn't help. He was pitched as even more annoying. Without context, his desperate attempts to keep Sonic around just seem selfish and obsessive.
That's why the fandom hated him so much. He became the poster child for why human characters in Sonic don't work, when the real problem was the dub cutting all his complexity.
It's wild how much these changes ripple out. Chris went from a nuanced, realistic kid wrestling with abandonment to a symbol of everything fans disliked about Sonic X.
And the backlash was intense. People wanted him written out, or worse, missing that his flaws were intentional in the original. It's a reminder that poor adaptation can rewrite an entire character's legacy.
It's kind of tragic. All because the dub tried to oversimplify the story for kids, it ended up alienating both new viewers and longtime fans.
Honestly, it's a lesson for all adaptations. Context and emotional nuance matter, or you risk losing what made the character sometimes the whole show special in the first place.
So, what can we take away from the 4Kids era? 1. Heavy-handed censorship often does more harm than good. 2. Erasing character backstory strips away emotional resonance and depth.
And 3, localization isn't just about swapping food or jokes, it's about translating the heart of the story, not just the words. If you cut too much, you end up with something unrecognizable.
For fans wanting the best version, seek out subbed originals or modern redubs. You'll get the story as intended, and maybe gain a new appreciation for characters like Chris Thorndike.
Next time you rewatch a childhood favorite, try comparing the dub and the original side by side. You might be shocked at the difference and grateful for how far anime localization has come.